a quiet town in northern Utah, not far from the bustling railways of early 20th century America. There's a grand old building standing tall in Ogden's historic district, the Ben Lomond Hotel, now officially called the Bigelow Hotel and Residences. But among the polished marble floors and Renaissance-style architecture, it's the whispers of tragedy and loss that have made it a place of mystery and, for some, fear. Some of the stories are documented, others have become local legends. But together, they've given this hotel the title of one of Utah's most haunted places. Originally named the Bigelow Hotel after businessman Archie Bigelow, this hotel was built in 1927 during Ogden's boom as a railroad hub. With its Italian Renaissance revival design, marble columns, ornate ceilings, and crystal chandeliers, it was once the pride of northern Utah. It was meant to be the crown jewel of the city, luxurious, modern, and a magnet for travelers passing through. Over the decades, this hotel has hosted governors, celebrities, businessmen, soldiers, tourists, and railroad men. In 1933, it was renamed the Ben Lomond Hotel after the nearby mountain that looms over the town. But behind the elegance lies a darker and quieter history. Like many buildings of its age, it has collected more than just dust. The hotel changed hands several times over the years, eventually becoming a condominium and residence building, but its reputation for being haunted has never faded. Let's start with one of the most well-known stories linked to this hotel. It's the story of room 1102. According to long-standing accounts, a young bride checked into room 1102 with her husband on their honeymoon. But something went terribly wrong. Some say her husband disappeared after an argument and never returned. Others say he passed away unexpectedly. Either way, what followed was tragic. Left alone and devastated, the woman was later found dead in the bathtub of room 1102. Official records never confirmed the exact cause. Some say it was suicide. Others say it was an accident. What we do know is that guests who've stayed in that room since have reported strange things. Faucets turning on by themselves, unexplained cold spots, the feeling of someone standing near the bathroom door when no one else is there. Some even claim to hear crying in the night. But the story doesn't end there. The bride's adult son, grief-stricken over her death, came to the hotel shortly afterward to collect her belongings. He was placed in room 1101, just next door. What happened next is murky. Days later, he too was found dead. Some say it was suicide. Others suspect it may have been related to substance abuse. But what's undeniable is that the mother and son died within feet of each other under deeply tragic circumstances. The details have faded with time, but ever since then, these rooms have drawn attention. Guests have reported faucets turning on by themselves. Both rooms are considered active by paranormal investigators. Housekeepers have even refused to clean those rooms alone. Guests report uneasy feelings, voices, and at times, the overwhelming sense of sadness. Cold spots near the bathtub, whispers, and on occasion, the sound of someone sobbing behind the walls. Just a few doors down, room 1106 has its own story. During World War II, a woman checked in to await her son's return from overseas. A telegram arrived a few days later. Her son had been killed in action. Days later, her dead body was found in the room. The cause of death was natural, likely a heart attack brought on by shock and grief. But the room again seemed to retain something. Over the years, hotel employees reported receiving calls from room 1106 when no one was checked in. The front desk would pick up to hear static, or sometimes silence. When staff checked the room, they found it empty. Some have even reported the faint scent of perfume lingering in the air, despite the room being unoccupied, or heard a woman softly talking when no one else is around. Then there's the elevator. For years, strange reports have come from guests and staff alike. The elevator stopping on the 11th floor without anyone inside, doors opening and closing on their own, and in some cases, footsteps echoing in the hallway just before the elevator arrives, despite no button being pushed. One theory claims that a hotel employee died near or inside the elevator shaft during the mid-20th century. There are no confirmed public records of such an incident, but many believe something is attached to that elevator. Whether that's true or not, the unexplained behavior of the elevator has been consistent enough to make many employees wary of using it alone late at night. But not every story here is ancient. One of the most disturbing events is very real and well documented: a murder. In 1976, a 60-year-old night clerk named Henry Topping Jr. was working the front desk. Just after midnight, he was attacked during a robbery by a 15-year-old boy. He was stabbed and died in the hotel. This case was reported in local papers at the time. The tragedy left a scar on the hotel's history, and while no ghost sightings have been directly linked to the clerk, there are still occasional reports of music playing on the lobby speakers in the middle of the night without any source, or phone cords moving on their own. There are more tragic stories scattered throughout the building. In 1939, 2 men reportedly jumped from the upper floors in separate incidents. Police ruled them suicides. And in 1951, a well-liked local schoolteacher named Donna Anderson checked in. She had recently lost her job and was dealing with a chronic illness. Days later, she was found dead in her room, another apparent suicide. There are at least several such cases recorded in local newspaper archives and city records, confirming that the hotel has been the site of real human tragedy over the decades. Some guests have also reported seeing shadows moving in the hallways. A woman in white, possibly the spirit of the grieving war mother, who has been seen at the end of the 11th floor hallway, always facing away from the viewer. When approached, she simply disappears. Some older employees used to speak of a spirit in the old ballroom, which now stands mostly unused. They claimed that chairs would move slightly on their own, and cold gusts of air would blow through with no open windows. A few even said they saw a man in a tuxedo near the stage, standing alone and silently watching. Then there are the stories that blur the line between rumor and folklore. Some say the basement used to house storage areas that were once sealed off after workers claimed to hear voices or strange mechanical noises. A maintenance worker in the early 2000s allegedly quit on the spot after seeing a man in old-fashioned hotel staff uniform walk into a locked boiler room and vanish. Paranormal investigators have visited the hotel for years. Teams using EMF detectors and audio recorders have captured strange static, unexplained voices, and even a faint piano melody coming from nowhere. Not a single room appears untouched by the strange activity, and yet no event has ever been conclusively proven as supernatural. But maybe that's not the point, because what makes the Ben Lomond Hotel unique isn't just the ghosts, it's the overwhelming sense of presence. People come in expecting a hotel, but what they find is a place where the past still clings to the walls, where grief lingers, and where even skeptics leave with more questions than answers. Still, for many, the Ben Lomond Hotel isn't frightening. It's historic, grand, even elegant. It may no longer operate as a traditional hotel, but its stories haven't checked out. But for those who felt a sudden chill in room 1102, or heard the phone ring from room 1106, it's a reminder that some stories never fully end. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories of the Ben Lomond Hotel are grounded in real history, real people, real loss, and events that shaped the building's reputation over the decades. And maybe, just maybe, some part of them still remains in the walls,